From February 9th to 11th, 2016, Künker Auction House will conduct its 272nd auction, which will be held as an eLive premium auction. Part of this auction will be a small series of Reformation medals. We would like to take this opportunity to call your attention to this interesting collecting area. On October 31st, 1517, Martin Luther announced his 95 Theses against the selling of indulgences by posting them on the portal of the Schlosskirche of Wittenberg. Even if this posting probably never happened, this scene has entered the collective memory as the beginning of the Protestant Reformation. Luther's theses struck a weak point and spread all over Germany as fast as the wind. Everybody understood that it could not be right that a man like Albrecht of Brandenburg paid more money for his ecclesiastic appointment than he owned, and that preachers of indulgences pulled out money of the pockets of simple believers by threatening them with purgatory in order to provide the missing money for the Pope. The Church reacted. Leo X felt the financial foundation of papal power was endangered. At the Reichstag at Worms in 1521, Luther was summoned to recant. When he declined, Emperor Charles V declared Luther's ban of the empire. With the help of Frederick the Wise, Luther fled to Wartburg. Another image we carry in our minds is how the great reformer sits in his room and translates the Bible into German. Yet, had Luther not had the support of the powerful imperial states, his thoughts would have been without consequences. In 1529, 6 princes and the authorized representatives of 14 imperial cities protested against Luther's ban and the ostracism of his teachings. This medal, celebrating the 300th Jubilee of this very event, shows us some of them. In their middle, the Holy Bible is placed. The abbreviation Gal 5:1 quotes a part of Paul's first letter to the Galatians, which the imperial estates utilized for themselves. Insist on your freedom, which Christ has given to us, and let no man put a yoke of slavery on you again. A year later, the Lutheran imperial estates professed their faith, the Confessio Augustana, to the emperor. Thereby, the believers claimed direct admission to God through the Holy Bible. Verbum Domini manet in aeternum. The Word of God lasts forever. This essential Protestant belief is engraved on this, as of yet unpublished, Prussian medal commemorating the 200th Jubilee of the delivery of the Augsburg Confession. Above the open book, a right angle is placed, which is an iconographic clue representing something right, something justified, the truth. Luther became the man who, through his teachings, showed the people the light of truth. We can see him on this medal. Across from him stands the Elector of Saxony, John George I. Luther points him to the Holy Bible, the Biblia Sacra. In his right he holds a brightly shining candle as the symbol of the light of truth. Above, the name of God appears in a corona. Similar depictions were also used in very different contexts. Take note of the bushel in the lower part of the image. We recognize it also from medals. On this Saxon medal from 1717, Luther, with the help of a heavenly messenger, lifts the bushel of light in order to enlighten humanity. Our figure of speech, one should not place his or her light under the bushel, derives from Luther's Bible translation. The same Luther does here. He provides the bright light of the candle by cutting the wick with scissors and so disposes of the old and dead, so the light of truth can shine brightly. Reformation medals are full of symbols and imagery, which nowadays is hard to understand. Take, for example, the swan. It represents Luther himself. This image is connected to Jan Hus, who in 1415 was burnt as a heretic. Alluding to his own name, he was supposed to have said, "Today you are roasting a goose." The Czech word for a goose is hus, but from the ashes a swan will rise. Even more unusual is this depiction. It shows a fruitless vineyard, in front of which a female personification is seated on a palm leaf, holding a book marked AC, which stands for the Augsburg Confession. The vineyard recalls a parable from the New Testament. A landlord was looking for day laborers to work in his vineyard. He found some in the morning, at noon, and in the evening. When he paid everyone the same at the end of the day, The laborers who had been working since morning complained. Protestants enhanced this parable. They claimed that the Catholic workers did not generate a bountiful harvest, so the Protestants were called by Christ to take better care of the vineyard. There are a multitude of medals which are concerned with Reformation jubilees and also like to call attention to local histories. This medal, for example, shows us how the Saxon Duke Henry and the Elector Frederick August take their first Lutheran sacrament in Dresden. Clearly, the chalice is being held by the priest, which, during Catholic communion, is not being handed to the ordinary believer. The city of Coburg was very proud that Luther stayed at the Veste Coburg when the Augsburg Confession was delivered. That is why this building can be found on a medal, which was sold on the occasion of the 300-year celebration of the delivery of the Augsburg Confession. In 1555, the Peace of Augsburg ended the war between the Catholic Emperor and the Protestant Imperial Estates. Cuius regio, eius religio is how a lawyer, 2 generations later, described its quintessence. Ruling a country also meant determining its faith. This medal commemorates 200 years of the Peace of Augsburg. Fame, the winged goddess of glory, spreads through her trumpet that peace, in Latin pax, has arrived. A pile of weapons lay on the feet of the cross. If you want to get to know more about how the Reformation was depicted on medals, we would like to recommend to you Klaus-Peter Brostatus's catalog, published by us. It contains interesting information about the topic of Reformation medals. We, Künker Auction House, thank you very much for your attention. We would be delighted if you would take part at our eLive Premium Auction 272 online. It will take place from February 9th through 11th, 2016. Should you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us.